Welcome students in the second part of the chapter number 3 from your course book Vistas. Students to ends students on ice, the program I was working with on the Shoka ski aims to do exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. It's been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Green, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. With the students on ice, he offers the future generation of policymakers a life changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. Here, the author has been in Antarctica and on an expedition with students on ice, a program that takes young minds to the ends of the world, which helps in inspiring them to work towards our planet. It was started with the vision of providing life-changing experience to the future generation of policymakers to learn about the planet at a very early age. The initiative was introduced by Geoff Green, who got tired of his regular job once he got it and wanted to give it back in some way. Now, the reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. It's easy to be blase about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. But when you can visibly see glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real. Blaze means unimpressed or with or indifferent to something because one has experienced or seen it so often before. The program has been immensely successful in implementing its vision by the way people get affected by seeing the real scenario because it is very easy to sit at home and talk about real issues. But actually seeing glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, it gives you a glimpse into the future. It tells you that the very threat of global warming is real. Antarctica, because of its simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Take the microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. These single-celled plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of process called photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a few further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of the phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things, and big things will fall into place. It is one of those places with a limited biodiversity and thus has a less complicated ecosystem. As a result, little changes in its environment can have drastic effects. For instance, the microscopic phytoplankton, the grasses of the sea, and the sustain entire southern ocean food chain. Now, it has been recently concluded by scientists that a further depletion in the ozone layer can affect the activities of these single celled plants and affect the marine life altogether. Thus, in this case, the saying comes true: take care of the small things, and the big things will fall into place. Now, walk on the ocean. My Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies, but the best occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 66.555 degrees south. The Shokalski has managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and Tadpole Island, which was preventing us from going any further. The captain decided we were going to turn around and head back north, but before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ocean. So there we were, all 52 of us, kitted out in Gore-Tex and glares, walking on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. Underneath our feet was a meter thick ice pack, and underneath that 180 meters of living breathing salt water. In the periphery, crabiter seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice floes, much like stray dogs will do under the shade of a banyan tree. It was nothing short of revelation. Everything does indeed connect. Nine time zone, six checkpoints, three bodies of water, and many ecospheres later. I was still wondering about the beauty of balance in play of our planet. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will be around to see it? Or would we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? Who's to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. For it, for all it took for him to travel from Madras to Antarctica, the 9 time zones, checkpoints, and various bodies of water, and the author pondered upon the capability of nature to maintain its balance. He wondered what it would be like if Antarctica, the place that houses over 90% of world's ice, becomes warm again. He wonders if we will be there to see if it ever happens, but who knows? Thus, by seeing the spirit of teenagers who still are left with the courage to save the world, he talks about the uncertainty of events that can happen over a million years. So students, this was the chapter. So, thank you.